And we want to kind of show the folks at home a piece of the statement that you've put out over the last 24 hours. As you remember, you have a unique perspective, as we all do, along with what's coming up. And I'll read a little bit of it. Though we carried on with our lives over the past 2 decades, we've never forgotten the terrorist attacks on our way of life and their taking of thousands of innocent lives. Threats to our national security remain. That life returned to normal after 9/11 is proof, though, how tirelessly we fight them. We must not ever relent. So, Senator, that's a piece of your thoughts, but I'd like for you to expand upon, I guess, as we're 1 day away from 20 years from this anniversary, what your thoughts are on that day.
So I was actually in Washington, D.C., coincidentally on that day, and I was there when the plane hit the Pentagon, and there was a lot of both concern and confusion about what had happened that morning. And my thoughts that day were very personal. At once, I was grateful for all of those first responders, broadly defined, a lot of just citizens who came to the aid of those at need, which we've recently seen in the global pandemic, so the spirit continues. Also, I liked how our country came together, neighbor to neighbor, across political divide, across racial and geographical divide, and that's where we need to return to. So the spirit of 9/11 still, I think, resides in our guts, and this is one of the reasons we need to celebrate it.
And with the 20-year anniversary being tomorrow, I think a lot of people are thinking of how our country has changed in that time, because that was something that certainly changed history in an instant. Where do you think our country has gone in the last 20 years, say, when it just comes to national security since that day?
Well, look, we've been protected by 2 vast oceans, and we have the strongest military in all of human history. So I think a lot of us felt very insulated from a lot of the outward pressures and dangers that other countries had experienced. But this revealed our vulnerabilities and ensured that we demanded our leaders remain vigilant with respect to those vulnerabilities. We can't take our eye off the ball. I think that's one of the things that we need to emphasize on this 20th anniversary and moving forward. We still have some porous borders, and there are still a lot of dangerous people out there who want to injure Americans. But God bless those Gold Star families and those wounded warriors and those who made the ultimate sacrifice to keep us safe for 2 decades.
And part of the unique perspective we were talking about earlier is you're a military veteran yourself, as somebody who was in the Marine Corps. Obviously, I believe that your time ended in the service right before all of this happened. But as I'm sure you could imagine with a lot of people you served with, they were a part of the war that went on in the Middle East after this in both Iraq and Afghanistan. And we've seen the American, the military exit over the last few weeks from Afghanistan. For you as a veteran, for people who served, for you now as a United States Senator, what are your thoughts on the exit now as we look back at the legacy of 9/11?
Well, this is personal to me. It's personal because I trained with, served with people who were in the military during 9/11 and who deployed to Afghanistan, and people who sacrificed themselves, served with others who sacrificed. And I hear all these stories, and now I represent so many of these families. Corporal Sanchez, United States Marine Corps, passed away as one of the 13 who passed away just days ago over the course of the exit. And so it's quite sad. It's really tragic. I'm upset. And it's unfortunate that we can no longer say as a country that we never leave anyone behind. So clearly we're going to have to honor the sacrifice of those who have made us safe for the last 2 decades by forensically looking at all the really horrible decisions that were clearly made. Make clear for the purposes of the history and learning in the future exactly what went wrong. And we still have to do everything conceivable to ensure that we get every last American out of Afghanistan.
Well, let's move along to the big news that was come yesterday here, more a domestic front when it comes to the pandemic, with President Biden now saying that federal employees and contractors are going to be mandated to be vaccinated. That's going to affect over 100 million people. Obviously, with your position in the federal government, that's going to affect, I'm sure, people that you work with and see every day. What is your thought on the president now working on that executive order and announcing it yesterday?
Well, look, it's remarkable what we've been able to do with respect to developing these vaccines in short order. I'm vaccinated, my family's gotten vaccinated. I encourage others to do so, but I also know there's understandable apprehension from so many Americans for a number of reasons, becoming vaccinated. I'm concerned about the legal precedent established here. It's unclear whether this is consistent with our nation's Constitution, asking a private business to mandate that their employees are indeed vaccinated. And I'm really concerned about the labor market implications. I'm hearing from long-term care facilities and hospitals, which are already experiencing healthcare shortages because our healthcare workers are burnt out, and it's very difficult work at this time. You know, they're not going to be able to get employees, to say nothing of the rest of our economy, if this mandate goes into effect. So I do have some real concerns, and I know most Hoosiers do as well.
Well, Senator Todd Young, that's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us here in person to discuss those issues. We appreciate it.